Hey guys, welcome back to Altaz-Review, where we talk about the latest developments in the gaming world. We've had a lot of amazing games come out recently, and the upcoming releases are showing a lot of promise, whether it be remakes, sequels, originals, or even indie games. But in the past, we've seen some real out-of-the-box ideas from developers who challenged modern gaming concepts. Games like Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, and Palworld. They're not the only ones, but these three took some big steps to set themselves apart while taking some big risks. So let's see what they did and how well it turned out. Going back to early 2022, let's look at Elden Ring. Coming from Software, the creators of cult classic Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and much more, Elden Ring was an ambitious project that took their original RPG ideas into the open world. Even after so many games that followed the same ideas, along with copycats that became recognized as Souls-likes, no one had successfully taken the Souls-like format to the open world. But at this point, even if From Software did it right, people would simply call it Open World Dark Souls or Dark Souls 4. What could they do to make Elden Ring stand out to players outside of Souls fans? But despite a lot of skepticism, Elden Ring changed our expectations of an open world RPG, straying far from games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn, or even Skyrim. Elden Ring used exploration and discovery to a level where even hardcore players will get the same feeling they got when they played their first open world RPG as a kid. The old style isn't bad by any means, but it's gotten to a point where we just get better versions of the same game. The Legend of Zelda kind of introduced the idea of an unmarked map, but Elden Ring was able to fill the area with unbelievable mysteries, horrors, and rewards. Elden Ring gave us limitations and challenges that, in a weird way, were able to make the game more fun, even though the game sounds like it would have been tedious. Elden Ring reminded us that even though the players will make requests and suggestions about how to improve games, the developers should stay true to their ideas, since they might make a game that we didn't know we wanted. Then going to another game of the year from last year, Baldur's Gate 3. Another RPG that tried something big in an oversaturated and tough-to-please market. As an RPG, Baldur's Gate 3 would be too complicated and hardcore to get a big audience. And as a D&D game, every element of the game would be way too difficult to do right. Admittedly, Larian Games has made D&D games before in the older Baldur's Gate games, but their goals for Baldur's Gate 3 with important decision-making, dialogues, and different ways to play each class, the task was tough, especially against modern games. But Baldur's Gate 3 succeeded in creating the ultimate RPG experience. Even without the Dungeons and Dragons elements, it's an exceptional RPG with a very deep story. It follows all the rules and lore of the board game, but it doesn't feel out of place for new players either. With so many options and open-ended tactics, whether it be dialogue routes or the actions you can take in combat, the lore threshold is simple enough to let players do whatever they want, like a game out of their own imagination. And players who know the rules and lore can exploit every aspect of the game, the only limit being their CPU. Baldur's Gate 3 set high standards, and Larian Studios tried to create a game that takes into account the raw gamer mindset and apply it to a world that's interesting to live in. And in that respect, they rolled a nat 20. And finally, we get to the even more recent Palworld. Now, this isn't a game that introduced a single new concept. Instead, it followed the fans' desires to have as much fun as possible. And to do this, it challenged some of the biggest names in gaming. Pokemon, Fortnite, Ark, Legend of Zelda, all great games that focus on one main gameplay aspect. But many players think, what if you could do more? What if you combine 2 or 3 of these games together? So here comes Palworld with a giant blender and takes the best aspect of each game together. Just mixing several games isn't enough. The gameplay needs to be cohesive. It should make sense, and you should be able to enjoy all the elements together. So Palworld makes sure that shooting mechanics, monster catching, and base building are all directly related to your success and to leveling up, while exploring rewards you with either new monsters or base upgrades. It's a well thought out game that makes a genuinely fun experience without thinking too hard about morality or story. It's truly a matter of giving the fans what they yearn for and a proper combination of all the best aspects of different games. And so far, Palworld isn't even finished yet, so let's see how much further it can fly when the finished game releases. Because with the way this video is going, Palworld might be another game of the year. Well, that's all for a quick retrospective of past surprises. Who knows what other creative games we'll see in the next few months, because there's some exciting releases coming up. Will we get another indie masterpiece, or will a AAA studio step up and make the next big thing? At this point, Palworld is still on top, and even with all the future releases, we can't make any assumptions till we play each new title. But let me know what you guys think about this year's release list and what games you're excited about. Until then, I hope I see you in the next video.